Hi, I'm Jim. Hi, I'm Jim, and welcome back to Studio Gremlins. In this episode, I'll be continuing with the studio collection. Hi, I'm Jim, and welcome back to Studio Gremlins. In this episode, I'll be continuing the studio tour with an overview of my guitar and pedal collection, and I'll be conducting drum test 2 with the goodies I got from the candy store. Let's get started. When I was growing up in the Detroit area, I had access to great radio stations, and on them I heard musicians like Jimi Hendrix, David Gilmour, and Jeff Beck. The one thing they had in common was this Stratocaster. I vowed one day to get my own, and in a scant 45 years later, I did. This is my 2010 Standard in Blizzard Pearl. Next is my acoustic. I don't remember when I got it, but I've had it for at least 20 years. It's an Ibanez PF series. One of my favorite features is that it has an XLR output that comes in handy. I recently had to replace the tuners, but after 20 years I didn't mind. Up next is my 2006 Les Paul Studio in worn brown, my current favorite. I replaced the bridge burst bucker pickup with a Dirty Fingers Plus, and now this thing is a rock and roll machine. The pickguard I made from Wenge. Here's my other Les Paul. It's a 2009, also in worn brown, with P90s, and it's factory pickguard free, no mounting holes. I got this from Japan, and when I got it, it had a broken tuner, the G, and it had been dropped on its bottom strap button. I replaced the whole set with new ones from my '06 Paul and got new ones for that. It was only in a gig bag, wrapped in bubble wrap, then put into a box. I was just glad I got it without a broken neck. Up next is a Grote semi-hollow body. In all honesty, I'm not a fan of this one. I was looking for a semi-hollow, but this isn't it. It has some nice features like a split coil for both pickups, but it doesn't sound great plugged in. Finally, my two basses. This one was a kit, and when I say a kit, all I did was glue the neck in place and then wire it up. I'm looking to put some TV Joneses in it and make it into a rockabilly bass. Plus, it'd look cool with those chicken head knobs on it. And finally, my baby. The neck is from an Epiphone Thunderbird because of the reverse headstock, I'm guessing. I know it's an Epiphone because I used the truss rod cover as a template for the new one. The body I made myself out of Wenge and lacewood, with a bird's eye middle sandwiched between the front and two pieces of Wenge back. Seymour Duncan quarter-pound jazz pickups with Schaller bridge and Goto tuners. This thing is heavy at around 14 pounds, but it has tone for days. I'll list a link to a recording of it in the description below with an old band I was playing with. And now for my pedals. I took a chance on some of these, like the Stone Deaf PDF, which I still haven't found a place for in my playing, but the Poison Noises was a great gamble. The Dirt Nap and Crook are overdrives, and the Gluttonous Fuzz is what it says on the tin. The Roscoe is an EQ, and the Skipping Stone is a delay. The Keeley 4-knob compressor was a no-brainer after some research, and the Verbo Trim was because my reverb tank quit on me. It has since been replaced, but I like the combination of the two into one. A classic MXR one-knob phaser because you gotta. I wanted a wah, but couldn't decide on which one, so I decided I liked Jerry Cantrell's playing, so I got his signature one. The Shure GLX is a tank, and it takes up this need for a wireless and a tuner. It all sets on a pedal train with a Voodoo Labs Mondo power supply. The signal path is as follows. Into the Shure GLX, then into the Keeley compressor, then into the Roscoe EQ, down into the Stone Deaf, through the Dirt Nap, the Crook, and the Gluttonous Fuzz, and then out the wah. The Skipping Stone, Verbo Trem, and Phase go into the FX loop. What's not on the board is a tube screamer because it's not a rook. The rat stays off for the same reason, and it's noisy as hell. Knuckle sandwich is in rotation with the dirt nap depending on my mood. The two big muffs aren't on my baseboard because they make the bass drop out when I turn them on. Does anybody else have this problem? Speaking of bass, that board consists of only preamps. I have no onboard pre's on my bass, so I keep them on the floor. Starting with an Ampeg SCR DI. It has an overdrive that has enough growl without washing away the low end. Next is a Tech 21 Sans amp. I started with just this and added as I went. I knew this pedal was an industry standard, so I went with it, and it hasn't disappointed since. Then the Eden WTDI. I wanted some compression, and this fit the bill. Most times, all three are on, and I use different frequencies on different devices. I'll sit on a pedal train nano with a Dunlop DC brick. The signal path starts with the WTDI and goes straight through them all the way out the Ampeg. So up next is drum test 2. Here I'm setting up my mic group. I have an SM57 going on top of the snare with an SM58 on the bottom. SM57s are on both toms with a Beta 52A on the kick. For my overheads, I'm using the Lewitt LCT 040 matched stereo pair. Top of snares going straight into my Apollo Twin using the API Vision channel strip using the Butch Walker 1974 snare preset with the low pass filter on the Apollo. The kick is going straight into the Apollo Twin using the API Vision channel strip with the Butch Walker 1974 preset. Both toms are going into the Fredenstein mic pre's and into console with the API Vision channel strip using the Butch Walker toms preset. I'm using the presets a lot because I'm by myself and I can't monitor them in an isolated environment, so it's an ease of use thing more than anything else. The overheads are going into my ART preamp and compressor. I'll just show you the settings here. There they go into the back of the Cranborn 500 ADAT, then into the Apollo console using, you guessed it, the API Vision channel strip, using Jeff Balding's overhead preset. Terrible. Well, what I learned from that test was if you really don't have the microphone, bottomless snares not really all that necessary to mic. And I don't know if you noticed, but I switched my overheads from an XY pattern to just directly over these cymbals because that's really what I wanted to pick up. That's it for this episode. If you liked it, you're a masochist. But if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you are a sadist, please share. Next time, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, so it'll be a mystery to both of us. So that's it for now. Take care and keep creating. Bye.